This is the Bottomline Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottomline Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.
Audio Jungle.
You mute that link, bro.
Oh, sorry, guys. I have some technical stuff. But I want to say welcome to the Bottomline Liberia discussions on this beautiful Friday evening. The weekend starts today. And today is the 7th day of the 11th month. So that means that we've gone 7 days in November. And 7-11, it reminds me of when we were growing up in Liberia. That was the frequency for ELWA, 711 medium wave. So I love that number, 711. But let me say welcome to my colleague Paul the Lord Chirople, and hopefully Francis Mensah is going to be joining, and Mr. Yakuba Morris Dolly will also be joining. So it's going to be a packed house tonight. And so, Paul, how you faring, brother? It's been a while.
Yeah, good evening, Link. It's been a while. It's good to be back on the show. And I want to say thanks to you guys for holding ground. So I just want to say it's good to be a money living. So another day in paradise. And you're right. Today what? 7-11. In the next few weeks will be in New Year. So it's scary though that we're getting older every minute, every second. It's good to see all of you, man. But how you guys been? How you been holding ground?
Well, we've been there, and those who believe in the God, in the other God, the God that's sitting somewhere, they say thank God that we've been there. But I will say thanks to all of us and the spirit that is in us for being able to hold on, because without our spirit we cannot make it. But Francis, let me say welcome to you from Sweden. How is the weather?
Well, we're having
snowfall, so don't tell me it was snowfall.
we're having good weather.
On the 1st of November.
We actually be having good weather, for November. It's very unprecedented to have this kind of weather. During November, we had a little sunshine. We were just around 12 degrees, so it's good. Yeah, it's good to be here. Well, to engage and tackle some of the issues that affecting our common patrimony, our country Liberia, and the world at large. Yeah. Uh,
You tell Link, bro.
That was great. So while we await Mr. Dolly to come on, or he's in the background, I think we can bring him on. But Pat Dolly, want to say welcome to you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, fellow. I'm here to be with you guys. We hope to let me put my jacket on so we can at least crack. Paul Chilople, how you doing, my dear?
I'm good. It's great to see all of you. It's good to be back on the Bottomline.
Oh, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Glad to see you, my brother. At least you're picking up. I can see that.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, when you travel to Liberia, some people want to wish you according to our people, and then, but you didn't know that God is me who actually worship devil. Devil can't allow anybody to wish me. So I'm fully recovered now. I'm back to normal.
Thank God.
That's the
Thank God to hear that.
Yeah.
All right.
Before you get that,
But there is a very strong relationship between the devil and God that people don't know, because this is the God that made the devil. He threw the devil down on earth, and the devil been troubling him all the time. But still, he created a flood to kill all the sinners in the world, but he allowed the sin devil to live. Okay,
exactly.
when he can, then at the same time, the sin devil is the one that will be responsible to punish people who will disobey God in hell. So then who the
Yeah.
devil working for? Your enemy. Then that he don't want to be responsible to punish the same he disrespected you, then the people that disrespect you, then you will make him to punish them. So the relationship is strong. So but again, it's hard to say. But we want to say welcome to all of you watching. If you join us for the first time, you can share the show. Help us to share the show so that we all have a good discussions. And we're going to be back when we get back. Paul is going to be taking us through some of what we'll be discussing. But first, we take this quick break.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottomline Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. Your spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottomline Liberia.
Okay, officially, we'd like to say welcome to the Bottomline Liberia discussions. If you just joining us, my name is Linford Goer, and I'm here together with a host of our hosts, Paul Deloche, Mr. Morris Yakuba Dole is in Manchester, Paul in London, and Francis Mensah is in Sweden. And please excuse me for the noise in the background. So I just can't make it. But guys, I'll leave most of the talking to the rest of the guys to do the personal control. I'm sorry for the missing convenience or the inconvenience, rather. So Paul, are you going to take us through some of what we'll be discussing tonight?
Well, thank you, Linford. I think we'll be looking at what's happening internationally, quietly, and also we'll be talking about the assets recovery. This thing between Abono then uh subpoena by the court now for arrest with for officials and for company, something that we need to look at tonight. So we'll be discussing that. Yeah, and other news, and also we'll ask everyone here what's on their mind, and I will give a brief situation with my visit to Liberia, also to what's really going on politically. So yes, those are the things we'll be discussing.
Okay. And I don't know if you got this on the agenda as well, but I have a newspaper report here where the U.S. congressman is praising the government of Liberia for good governance simply because they say they have a good real deal. The railway from this is so glaring. The railway from Lamco to Dikiana, because there is this confusion between HPS, the former HPS, the gas one union, I don't know, and ArcelorMittal about who to control this railway. And it seems as though the deal with the Liberian government is going away or in the way of the HPX. And so this congressman from America is saying is pressing the government and saying that the government is doing very well, with good governance. But then there's a leaked document from the ArcelorMittal side that says that the deal is not sealed. So we want to be looking at that newspaper story. So those are some of the things we'll be looking at tonight. And so we the panelists we will discuss it from our own views, and then it's left with the viewers or the public to understand it the way they understand it. Because most of you have read the story, have listened to it from different angles. So we will just be discussing it from our angles as well. So Paul, you want to kick the ball rolling?
But yeah, I think we'll look at it from that end. You are absolutely spot on. But I think before what we could do, is it possible to have a quick musical break while we share the show? It is quite important because we get very important topic to discuss. So we can take that 3 minutes and just share the show. What do you think? To play maybe our national anthem Taku J while we share the show. So you want to play the music, it'll be great for us. You can find our national anthem, just let it roll. You can find a link for.
No, I thought. Sorry. I thought you had a queue. That's why. But let me see if I can scan through it. Or actually, I thought it was queued from your side. Let me see. Hold on, guys. You have
Let
it.
it roll.
Okay, that's why I'm looking for this thing. I don't know, Paul, if you have any picture from the asset recovery team to show as proof for what the new accusations that they are making right now against Finabono and the others, but we'll be searching to see if we can find some pictures to back the accusation or to actually show that there is something that happened. But here's Captain J.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the ball. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the ball. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the gods that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the ball. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and little on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
Welcome back to the Bottomline discussion. So, gentlemen, I was here. If you want to say, name for, can you please mute, please? Lincoln, please mute yourself. Francis, you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, loud and clear, bro.
Okay, at least it's good. It's good. So, Lincoln, it's good to be back. Just mute yourself. We're hearing the noise. It's good to be back here. So, as we said, we're going to look at international news and then also look at Mama Liberia, what is happening, and then we'll give an overall briefing and we'll have our own take on this. So, uh, something is happening in Europe here, and people are not paying attention keenly with this situation uh, in Eastern Europe, there, Russia and Ukraine. We know that there's this allegation that has been surrounding for weeks now that Pesto have been surrounded by the Russian government of over 20,000 Ukrainian troops. But Ukraine is not allowed, it's not true, but then Putin said they should send international journalists to see if this is true. So we've been looking at that. So we don't know what's happening, where the war, and recent time the Russians have been testing some serious weapons. So are we going into this so-called World War III that people long been talking about? Something we need to look at keenly. So yes, Wednesday, I don't know if you follow the story about the situation in Ukraine that 20,000 troops have been surrounded by the Russian forces, but because of the drones and other things, so it just stay put. Nobody moving forward because when you move these days, the drone will capture it, will pick you up, and then you destroy. So the new warfare now that you don't, people will surround us somehow by using drones. So drone is the kind of way forward now into new warfare that we have. What say you?
Yeah, yeah. No, but technology has over the years has influenced the battlefield, and we go back from if we do a historical review from World War Two, World War One to World War Two. There was a dramatic change in the weapons used. It came the atomic bomb, and that shifted uh, the battlefield. So the drone is one of the latest technology has been used over the years, in the past 2 3 years in warfare. I mean, it has its advantages and disadvantages, and so it's very unfortunate that the Russians will encircle, engulf the Ukrainian troops. That would be a massacre. So I think that's the good side of the June.
Yeah. So if you look at the way they're using a drone these days now, you don't really have to send men on the field. Just send maybe a pocket of person that using this drone because drones seem to do the work now like before. So Linford, I know you've been following this story here. I don't know what you think about the this area in Ukraine that in the Donbass region that 20,000 troops have been surrounded by Russians and Putin is saying surrender or death. So what say you?
Well, you know, like I always said, this war in Ukraine will end some kind of way. Either Ukraine will give up, or the Russians will continue to press on until there is no clear, fair window in any war situation. For the fact that both sides can sustain some damaging injuries. But uh, in order for the war to end, there are several certain things that should be happening. Either one side is losing, or is willing to make concession, or both sides will agree and say, "Well, we can have a ceasefire and sit down and discuss," or they may just continue until yeah, one side can take over. So if the Russian troops, what Putin is saying is true, that they have surrendered a whole contingent of army and they asking them to surrender. Well, I'm sure they will not kill all of them. There is this Geneva Convention. So if they will surrender, I think that would be the best thing to do in order to save their own lives and to let the the war in that part, because it's not only that is not even a battlefront, right? That could be one area where the Russians are reportedly having upper hand and calling on the other people to surrender. So if it's true, I think the best thing for them to do is to surrender, because once you surrender peacefully, you lay down your arms under the Geneva Convention. You should not be harmed. You should be taken as prisoners of war, and that will also help negotiation process in the future, where they will say, okay, if Ukraine could say, well, you capture all of our army, our men in this particular area, and we want them deliver alive. If you can deliver them alive, then we'll be able to, either release your people, or like what usually happens in Palestine, where the Israelis and Palestinians will exchange prisoners of war. So, and in every war situation, you can't kill all of the enemies. You always capture somebody. And that person could be helpful in giving you some lead head to be able to find a bottom. Um, yeah, there is no clear cut answer to that question. I'm not too sure what will happen, but we wait to see. And if those people are real military people, the Ukrainians that have been surrendered, if they are real military people and they are cognizant of the Geneva Convention, they can turn themselves in. If they know they are totally surrendered, and then there's no exit for them, they can surrender, they can give up and be saved instead of fighting to death. I mean, there is no dead hero anyway. It's better to say here goes a living coward than to say here lies a dead hero. So I think that's all I can say about that. It's left with them. They are military people. They know their position, so they will find a good solution to that.
Yeah, you are right, but the number is too huge. There are about 20,000 soldiers, and that's not a small number. See
Yeah,
that
but that's
when
what
these
that's what
guys,
that's what gives them the advantage. I mean, Paul, you wouldn't want to lose or to lose 20,000 men, 20,000, that talking about 5,000, 20,000 men on the front. You don't want to lose them. So you would need, if they are surrendered for true. I mean, it's simple for the Ukrainian army to call the Russian side and say, look, listen, okay, you surrender our men, but what can we do? We're willing to negotiate. It doesn't spell any victory for anybody, because I'm sure that Russians too are in prison or are in captive with the Ukrainians. So uh, it's about negotiation. If I were them, or I one of the generals on the front at this point, I think I will advocate for negotiation because you can't afford to lose 20,000 men. You could negotiate and free those people. When they come to your side, you still got 20,000 people living to fight tomorrow.
Right.
You see, he who
But
fights and runs away has another chance to fight
But
tomorrow.
leave. I mean, I don't want to go too far. How sure are we? That's how sure are we? Isn't that a
this is
war
the
propaganda?
situation that Zelensky and Ukraine say is not true. So Putin said they must invite international journalists, and the Ukrainians say it's not safe because there's a war area.
Okay, you see,
So
and you see, this is where it becomes dangerous in war situation because nobody is trying to say the fact. And I mean, having been a war front journalist, investigating some of these things before in my own country, I know how a place where you build the soldiers on the front, maybe they attack and just maybe the enemies they kill 4 or 5 of them, and then they blow a big and say, well, we've captured a place, we inflicted huge casualty on the enemies, whereby the enemies are actually retreating and going to regroup. The 4 or 5 people you kill from, maybe you don't even know the number. The thing is, I mean, you're fighting, you haven't been in the people camp. How did Russia know that there are 20,000 people? You haven't been in the people camp to check hair by hair. So I didn't know. So having been a war front reporter myself, and I mean that's one good experience that I had. You know, people inflate numbers, okay, and sometimes people had a fight as well because you will sustain casualty, but you will not go outside to the outside world or on the media and say, well, the people killed 10,000 people from us. Even if they kill 10,000 people from you, you say the fighting is still continuing. We are retreating, but the fighting still continues. And this is battlefront tactics. So like Francis said, we cannot be too exact about the number. Like, how did Russia know? Have they been there? Did they capture any of the people alive? And the person told them that we are 20,000 men here. You don't know, and you surrender the people in their own territory, so it's not possible. And those people who have bike are coming, so that's a very very slippery situation, gentlemen.
yeah. So Padol, let's bring you in as if, investigator. This I think this area will be good for you. This is the situation now faced where there's 2 regions, and the total number, according to Putin, there are about 20,000 Ukrainians have been surrendered, and they must give in or they be killed. But Zelensky said no, it's not 20,000. So, and Putin said, yep, let's bring international journalists so we can know the truth. It's not going to happen. So what say you on this situation? Because this is getting scary. And after that, we'll be looking at the new kind of weapon they have developed. Is this new weapon to fight NATO, or what is for? We know that Donald Trump also issued warning that America now need to start testing their own nuclear weapons. So before we get into that, what say you about the 20,000 troops that have been the speculation that's going around?
Yeah. First of all, as Francis just said, it's not totally confirmed that it's a 20,000 because of some circumstances surrounding the information. But one thing that I could see that will make it difficult for the people to surrender so easily, because mercenaries in the war are not covered by Geneva Convention. There's information that a lot of people from different countries did not go there as a national army to fight on the side of Ukraine. So they go there as a mercenary to fight on the side of Ukraine. If this is the case, it will be difficult for them to get easily surrender, because the Russians know mercenaries are not covered by Geneva Convention. And those people that are there too, if they are mercenaries, they are not a regular army fighting side of the Ukraine. They know that their life will not be safe. So it will be difficult for them to surrender so easily. But until the total confirmation can be done because similar thing happened before. In that same country, the whole town was surrounded by the Russians, and they will continue to bombard the place and until the people surrender. So when they surrendered, they took them to a safe zone. After certain times, negotiation went on, they start shipping over. So if this thing is not happening, it's still difficult for them to admit that 20,000 or less than 20,000 or is not even true. There should be some underlying factors in it. Some mercenaries must be among the group, so it will be difficult for them to surrender. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
But let me just add quickly, if I may.
Well,
Pop Dory, that war has been plagued by mercenaries for all the years. Uh, just from the beginning, people had a lot of sympathy towards the Ukrainians, people from all across Europe. The people, especially from your country, the UK, there were a lot of ex-British. What do you call them? What do you call the guys?
Marine?
No, yeah, they were soldiers, but they got name for them. They volunteer to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mercenary.
They work
yeah,
there.
You're not there as a regular.
the mercenaries, but they got another name for them.
You say the Wagners?
No, why don't that Russian?
Of
no,
course, they're
those
Russian,
are
pro-Russian.
Russian.
But a lot of Britons, went to fight for Ukrainians at the time. So you're right. I mean, so uh, what the people do not officially represent their countries. So we got the North Koreans there as well. What you're fighting alongside the
Mhm.
Russians. So that's a very complicated thing. But yeah, we can move on to the next topic. I just want to add,
Yeah.
if we have.
Francis and Padoli, you're right, because I know some of the ex-US soldiers, they were given good package if they volunteer to go and fight. So there's so many people over there. And remember too, some of the weapons that Ukraine is using, they didn't have it before. It's the West that are using those weapons. So you're right. There's so many people in there. So, and these guys also using satellite dish and Padoli to and Linford to say, how do they know 20,000? Because these countries, they are all, they will tell you, the Ukrainian will tell you, say, we're killing 1 million Russian every now and then. The Russians come and tell you, say, oh, 40,000 around us. So it's also propaganda within the thing. So we know all that is going on. Yes, I don't know, Linford, if you can go into the media room. There's a video there I have, but I cannot get access to it. If you drop what we have on the video, is the last video in there. I want you to play it. It's something that from how they call it the first news in India. I just want to discuss that about these three weapons that Russia have developed that triggered Donald Trump to say now US going to start testing.
Now let's
Yeah,
turn to
on
Russia, where President Vladimir Putin is turning up the heat.
Is that a video?
yes, that's the video. The first
Okay, so
video.
should I roll it out?
Please do. Then we can discuss it after that.
Now let's turn to Russia, where President Vladimir Putin is turning up the heat. He's flexing his military muscle. In the last few days, Russia has unveiled 3 weapons, back to back, like they're on a deadline. First, Russia tested a cruise missile. It was powered by a nuclear reactor and designed to loiter in the air for days. The second test was an underwater weapon. It can trigger a tsunami at sea. And the third and the latest one is a new submarine. Russia unveiled it this week. Reports say the submarine is capable of launching a nuclear torpedo. And do you know what these tests have in common? Each of these systems is nuclear capable. Russia is not just modernizing its arsenal, it is flexing it. And the idea is quite clear: to send a message to US President Donald Trump. In fact, look at their latest weapon. It's also their most lethal one. It is called the Khabarovsk. It's a new submarine. It is nuclear powered and it is equipped with a deadly weapon. This submarine can fire a nuclear torpedo, specifically the Poseidon. Russia recently tested this weapon too, the Poseidon. It's not a missile, it's an underwater drone. It is nuclear powered and nuclear armed. Experts are calling it a super weapon because it can travel at speeds of up to 100 knots. That's around 185 kilometers per hour underwater. The Poseidon is designed to evade all known defenses. And it does not explode on impact. It triggers something far more destructive. A radioactive tsunami, something that is powerful enough to devastate an entire coastline.
We conducted another test of yet another promising system, the Poseidon underwater unmanned vehicle, which is also equipped with a nuclear power unit. It is 100 times smaller than the nuclear reactor on a submarine, yet the power output of Poseidon significantly exceeds that of even our most advanced intercontinental range missile, Sarmat. There is nothing like Sarmat in the world. We have not deployed it yet, but it will be deployed soon. However, Poseidon significantly surpasses Sarmat in power.
Now, Russia has built and launched a submarine that is specifically designed for the Poseidon. This comes just days after another missile test, the Burevestnik. NATO members call it Skyfall. The name comes from a bird, the storm petrel. In Russian folklore, it is seen as a sign of an approaching storm. The missile had been under development for years. Russia tested it recently. Experts have described it, and I'm quoting, as a tiny flying Chernobyl. That's because it runs on nuclear power. It can fly for much longer than conventional missiles. The Kremlin says it can fly for days and even evade missile defense systems. Russia released a video after this test. It shows President Putin discussing the test with Russian generals.
How many thousands of kilometers did it cover?
14,000.
And how long did it stay airborne?
About 15 hours.
And that's not the limit.
No, it's not.
Valery Alexievich, we'll need to determine what this is and what class of weapon this new system belongs to. We need to determine its possible uses and begin preparing the infrastructure for deploying this weapon within our armed forces.
Roger that.
That message from Putin could have a deeper meaning. Observers say it's not just about the weapons, it's about signaling. Putin is sending a message to the West, specifically to the United States and their President Donald Trump. These tests can be linked to the dialogue on Ukraine and the breakdown of talks between the US and Russia. Remember, Trump and Putin were supposed to meet in Budapest in the first half of October. The meeting was supposed to be held to hash out a peace deal, but the Americans called it off. Apparently, Russia made some tough demands and the US found it unreasonable, so the talks were called off. Now, by conducting these weapons tests, Putin may be trying to push Trump back to the negotiating table. Not from a position of weakness, but from a position of strength. Russia is reminding the world that it is a nuclear power and it wants its demands to be taken seriously, not just on Ukraine, but on other issues as well. Hence the back-to-back tests. So far, this plan has not worked. The US has responded sharply to Russia's tests. Trump has made a shocking move. He has ordered his Department of War to start nuclear testing of its own. Trump says other countries are testing nukes, so the US should do the same on a quote-unquote equal basis.
Are you talking about literally resuming underground nuclear detonation tests?
You'll find out very soon, but we're going to do some testing, yeah. Other countries do it. If they're going to do it, we're going to do it.
Okay, you can't clarify whether you'll resume.
I'm not going to say yet. I mean, I know exactly what we're doing, where we're doing it, but other countries are doing it, and if other countries do it, we do it.
For over 25 years now, no nuclear power has detonated a bomb. No country has tested nuclear bombs except for North Korea. But this could change. With Russia ramping up its arsenal and the US preparing to follow suit, these two countries have the world's biggest nuclear stockpiles. A nuclear race between them only means more bad news.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that get.
So, gentlemen, that is the situation that the world is faced with today. these guys not finding any solution to the crisis in Ukraine for the war to end, but now they are developing new sort of weapons, and all of this is scary. I don't know what you guys think, because if this America will come up with their own tool, North Korea, China, they will all start developing. So where are we heading? What say you? Adole? And then
Yeah.
French and Nico.
Let me make something crystal clear to we all here tonight. From onset of this particular war, more especially with Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump is unpredictable person, but he make it clear to the Ukrainian president that he should find solution to start the war. He make it clear. There's a videotape to that effect. We are not sugarcoating or we're not just fabricating any information. He was stated by Donald Trump. He said, Ukraine playing with World War III. You should stop it. He said, in fact, in the first place, the war should not have even started if he was the president. So all these things then that are happening right now, people testing the kind of heavy equipment and stuff and things. For me, I'm looking at it to be like they're trying to show to people that they got sophisticated weapon, they can demonstrate it to their capacity. But I believe that between America and Russia, in the administration of Donald Trump, I don't think there will be any escalations of the war on Ukraine. That's my personal opinion on the thing. From the observation I have all the time that how Trump have been looking at this particular issue, he come up with certain statements that any of us can remember. Even he told the European communities, the Western communities in Europe, said that if you want any weapon to be supplied to Ukraine, you need to buy it. But I can't give it to you for free. You want it, you come, you pay for it. That's because before then, the past administration used to get it free, but he said he's not giving it free. He even come as far and said that look, the one that the past administration gave, the amount is this, so we want the money to be paid by Ukraine. All this thing there is a statement to discourage this particular war to go on, because the consequences of it now only going to start to one person. Everybody going to bear the consequences of it. The innocent people will suffer. So I hope there will be no escalation in this war. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Francis, what say you, and then Link can close off, and then we'll move to Liberia.
Look, all the military propaganda, hardware sophistication, the rhetoric, uh, is just intended, or they are intended to scare will be enemies or anybody. Because look, all the countries are in the business of, amassing weapons. I mean, Sweden here has ramped up its ability, its arsenal, you know. So it's nothing new. I mean, for me, what is disturbing is that where this war, the world we live in, should be moving towards more amicable solutions, way of living, but we are regressing. We are going back to medieval times, where we had those kingdoms where the Russian Empire, the Roman Empire, they were all amassing weapons. I mean, it makes no sense. What happened? What the people have done? Uh, all Trump statements he made, I mean, it's made it's political. 'Cause he's talking about the war would not have happened when he was president. He's killed his own people in America. He's supporting the massacre in Palestine, and he's bombing boats, innocent lives, people who are not being prosecuted, who are not being convicted. And so, look, I would just like to conclude that, look, it's unfortunate that the proliferation of nuclear warheads and nukes is a commonplace now. And yeah, one attempt, everybody would die. Nobody will be safe. The entire world, I mean, maybe will be wiped up. Only few people will survive. China, India, North Korea, South Korea, Sweden, everybody building the armor, the arsenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. This is so. Lean for conclude on this thing here about what the hell are we going back to the medieval days that you get one king to say, look, I don't like the people in Sweden, let's go invade. Are we back in the what? A B C days or DC days? Talk to us.
Well, like Francis said, sometimes some of these countries just want to display what they have. We have seen it many times with uh, the the guy in the north. He will during his national country's national day, he would display all those things, and we have seen it in Iran. We have seen it in Russia, even America too. Will do it sometimes. Sometimes they are when they take action. Recently, we saw it in Iran when they carry the bongo breaker, bongo buster, and drop some clusters down there. So you see, sometimes they do this to send a message to their would-be enemies or their perceived enemies to say, look, listen, all these things you're doing, this is what we got. But again, uh, like Francis said, all the countries are almost being weaponized. And then you there's a saying that you can't scare only with that thing. So most of the people got why you have somebody they have an advanced one or somebody planning to make an advanced one because the moment you show it out, they see the design, they can do something. We are in a technological age, they can do something better than that. But again, the devastating effect is hard, and we hope that some of these things will not happen. They will not do it. So you can take it over and let me put these people under control.
Right. Thanks, Linfa, and thank you guys. So next week we'll be looking at what is going on in Venezuela. It is, are the Americans actually want to to do what they call regime change in Venezuela? We'll be looking at that on Tuesday. So that will be our international focus on Venezuela next week, and Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, including Nigeria, about this situation about in Nigeria, according to Donald Trump, that the Christians been killed over there. He will bomb. So we'll be looking at it next week. But let's move on to Liberia. This story regarding Bono is quite interesting. Bono now is in the front page Africa. Is trading on the internet that she have been there have been arrest warrant for Bono and her company, including her daughter and somebody else within her family. Mean there about 5 of them have been listed for money laundering. Mass they have a mouse worth that nobody know where the money came from. And Linfo, I think you did show or display if you can show about Bono's daughter who also on that list for arrest that she been showing this work. Bono was selling cowboy in River G County, and then later she became aide to George Weah. Today, Bono gets over 40 testifully running in Monrovia. He got big, how they call it, estate in the Broadway area. Where Finabono got the money from? Is the government right to go after Finabono, or is that Finabono the after, or the after George Weah? Because another thing is, in the argument here is, Finabono was not given administrative role. She only served as aide to George Weah. She was not given a budget to work on to say, oh, she stole. So where is Finabono getting money from? Is the government right to go after them? Gentlemen, this is the show. Let me start with you, Francis.
Oh, look, Paul, the government is absolutely right to go after people who allegedly siphoned public money. Finabono has no, what do you call it, Fortune 500 company. She does not, uh, did not inherit any property of such of value. And some of the revelations from that were provided by the Councillor Martin from 2018, it raises our brow. Just within a couple of months, years, or a year, that she will have amassed such a wealth. And you see her daughter buying a business class. I'm a business class ticket. It's at 15 to 20,000, bro. Dollars. So look, the government need to go after all these people. Even if they have the extended arm to go back, they can do that, because this is this a precedent. Going forward, the next government will come and go after those who corrupted, those who stole money. So it's good. It's a good. I mean, I appreciate. I look forward to see more names and more of these people come. But yes, the cash. You cannot come expose these people. In the expose in the sense that they stole money and they are not prosecuted. Then it would be a waste of our time. I don't want business as usual. So yeah, I will let the other panelists, you know, well, give the view.
Right. So, Padole, this is the situation now. Finabono was not minister, she was not director, she was just an aide to George Weah. And now Finabono, overnight, she became one of the richest women in Liberia. So, the government now accused her of money laundering, how she got rich overnight, all of those things. So her business group that she have, including her daughter, and some family member, her entire now the government want her arrested to face prosecution of, and they'll be taking them to criminal court. See, this is a big thing. This Finabono, my question to you, are they after Finabono or they after the guy she worked with? Because how did she get this money to build all of this property and to have all of these cars running? That money couldn't have come from selling Kobo in River G. Talk to us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to make certain credits in the Finabono issue. Finabono was not just an ordinary person in the Georgia government. She was the chief of protocol to the president. She was a personal confidence to the president. She had access to many of these national and international activities in the president's office. So she was not just an ordinary person. She had a position in the past government, very much influential. So, but what I really looking, the this group that have been orchestrated, organized by the government of Liberia to go after people that have money or stole from the government, the way the carrying the team, I got some second thought on it. Because the point of the matter is, Finabondo accumulated this wealth now unknown to the president of Liberia, the former president of Liberia. The former president of Liberia are aware of everything that Finabondo was doing. And he also had a blessing from the former president. So I believe that there's some evidence, some facts surrounding or money laundering case. But we had a bigger face that name had been called. Some of them have even go on sanction because their senator did not go in after them. I don't know why. Mellard, the senator from the two senators from Margibi, the former finance ministers, all these people then had big face and they did a lot of damage to that country, including Finabondo. What their name is not up to date. Because the information that we just getting, I'm not too sure whether it's true or not. That Finabondo not even in the country right now. She might have left. Somebody said that. I don't know how true it is. She's not in the country before this information come out to have her arrested. So Finabondo need to be investigated because it's one of these corporations that need to be investigated. But one thing that I want you and I to know is this. There's a clause in our Constitution said that ex-president cannot be prosecuted. The only way they can be prosecuted and sentenced when they are impeached. George Weah was never impeached. So whatever crime come out linking to him, he will not be prosecuted so long that clause is in the Constitution. So I would, if I could be having a right or power to make sure that we revisit that clause in the Constitution to make sure that it be scrapped out and allow people to be pre-charged when they commit any act, whether they in power or the outside of the power. Until then, nothing will happen to Joe. Look at Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. When they arrested her son and then she took the responsibility. What happened to her? Because she was the president. That was it. So now look at all these things then, logically.
So, Linfer, if you have chance, you can display this Finabondo doctor, all these picture of her jewelry that she then flashing around. Something fishy about this story here. And Padone just said she was the chief of protocol to the former president, and she had access to people internationally. So the question here is, Finabondo was not given a budget, but George Weah was given a budget. But so how did Finabondo make her money? Are they trying to get to George Weah by going through? It's like you get a big how they call it, cutting tree. Then you get smaller trees around the cutting tree, but you're trying to clear all the smaller trees before you get to the big fish. Talk to us, Linford. What's going on? Are they after George Weah?
Well, the clause that Padoli talked about in the Constitution, and that was cleverly inserted in the Constitution in 1986 to prevent Doe and his PRC members from being prosecuted. And I don't know whether it was by some coincidence or by some oversight that Liberian people did not see that coming, and it got stuck there. And since 1986, nothing has been done by that constitution. So it's almost like from 1847, the first constitution was holding until the coup. Then do then change in 1986. So we don't know how long this one will go. We have not had a referendum to change a lot of things that are very wrong within our constitution. If you take your time to read our constitution or honor a democratic system like that of America, which we operate on. If you read our constitution, you know that there's a lot of flaws. But notwithstanding, if their aim, if the United Party government's aim is to go after George Weah, they shouldn't also forget about that clause that says that Weah cannot be prosecuted. That means they also have to go to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to prosecute her for Nuka because she took responsibility. Now, coming back to the Finabono issue, Finabono, but I'm wondering, why did the asset recovery team go after Finaboro in the first place around the very early stages of the UP rule, and they went to court, and the case went out. See, it's like when you look at it, it's like okay, they I don't know whether they have gathered enough evidence, and why didn't they wait until that time when they would gather enough evidence? When I was small, we used to have this. Our grandfather also gave us a parole. Like Christmas, you catch a chicken, so we can kill it. Then all of them running behind chicken. Somebody tell rat. The chicken is in close range, right? But because the man had cutting so much that he want to be the one to say, I don't want to kill it. So when the cook he can eat it here, the chicken close to the man, he will miss it with the rat. So they said, if your heart cut on a chicken, you can miss it. So, the people were rushing so much when they set up the asset recovery team. They were rushing so much to show that they're working. When they implanted taxes, and I mean, what asset is taxed to a state that you go and impound? Taxes that anybody can run. See, so they blunder in the first place, but then it seems as though they have gathered enough evidence and they want to go after Finabulo. But asking the question, how did she get her money?
No, let me get it straight. It's the Supreme Court never threw out the case. The Supreme Court dismissed of access rights petition to stop the asset recovery team for investigating them. That was in February. So the Supreme Court
Yeah,
from the
you mean
beginning.
the Supreme Court wanted to stop the asset recovery team from investigating the people?
No. Gracious Rye
Mhm.
petitioned the Supreme Court to put a stop on the asset recovery team investigation, and Supreme Court denied them the access right of petition and told the Supreme Court to go ahead with the investigation. That was in February of this year. What happened is that then it took a little time because the Supreme Court even pressured the asset recovery team to come up with evidence. So how come they are to speed up? So just to maybe it was an oversight, early on your part. I want to correct that.
Okay, yeah. You see, one reason, let me admit my fault here. I did not follow that story too much because I was not interested in it. In the first place. I thought that was just small screen, something to start off with this United Party government. But yeah, thank you. I see it. But notwithstanding, if the case is relifted, my interest now is as to whether they have had sufficient evidence to now go after the kids. And like I said, coming to Finabono, how she got her money, Finabono was making kobo. So before she was appointed. So she cannot tell us that she had been saving all that money when she was making kobo. So then they vow only with a lava bido should come and expose or and display that much money. So guys, I'm gonna show some pictures that were allegedly taken. I'm using the word allegedly because these pictures are not ours. It's not for the Bottomline Liberia. It's not us who took it. We saw it on Facebook and we just queued it from there. And so we are discussing this issue and we are deciding now to review them. and the person in the picture is alleged to be the daughter of Findabono. Okay, so we just want to in communication pictorial proof. It's very important. Something if you discuss something and you get pictures to it can even add more flavor to it. So, but this is not our own work, and we just want to make that disclaimer. So, this is money. What you see here is money, and it's alleged that this is the daughter of Finda Bono who has this amount of money available. Okay, and then we'll go to the next picture. This is supposed to be the alleged daughter of Finda Bono, and I don't know whether this is her bed, but you can see all of the gifts around her. Okay, and we'll move to the next picture. I think this is a business class or the first class. I don't know. Is it a business class? Because I haven't been in a business class before. That's my kind of.
But Lefa, the gifts you could see a gift that Gucci, Louis Vuitton,
Okay, yeah,
and
we'll go back to
Prada.
yeah,
Yeah, so man, no, nothing,
yeah.
no,
You can
no
see a Gucci.
H&M down there.
You can clearly see the Gucci, and you can see that she's marching in the
Yeah, yeah.
yellow upper and yellow lower with the shoes. And there,
Mm.
I don't know what are these two yellow stuff here. I don't know.
There's
And
no H&M. There's no Zara.
yeah, no Zara, no H&M, no Princess, nothing. Okay, then we move to this picture, and this looks clearly like I don't know. This is a bag, or I think a bag with some things in it, and the surrounding. I think this is a business class.
It's a business class.
Yeah. Okay, and then we move on to the next picture. You can see the goatee, and Jala or something. I think something Jala. Okay, and we move to the next one. Look at the fingers. So I wonder how your fingers will bend with this kind of thing. How do you bend your fingers if you want to hold a cup or something? So then you see another, raw cash in the bag, and I guess this bag is a Louis Vuitton or some Gucci or something,
A
and then it
coach.
comes back to the original picture. So I think if any reasonable person would want to ask, how would Sinabono's daughter, who was not even appointed, if this is her daughter for true, and this girl, we don't know how to have worked anywhere. She does not have any business. Her mother will say, "Well, I'll make him a kobo and I'll save you money." But so is she enjoying her mother's? We don't know. We are not accusing her. But if the asset recovery team is basing its accusation and investigation on these kind of pictures, even the ordinary man also want to ask questions. So I think they are right, but I wouldn't want them to do it like they want to witch hunt or they want to get at somebody. So uh because we all here we don't want to talk on both sides of our mouth. We don't want to be hypocritical, at least not me, or at least not the panelists on the bottom line Liberia. Because we've sat on this very platform and we've condemned people for being corrupt, and we've called for the establishment of war and economic crimes quote, and this is economic crime if this is true. So in as much as we've been advocating, we would like to see the advocacy work, and one of the ways it will work is if the asset recovery team is sincere in its work and very, very much serious, let them go for it. And we want to see results. And like Francis said, we don't just want people being accused and let go. The same thing that is happening in this government, we've heard people accused of corruption and the president just suspended. Okay, so we want to see actual action. So if this government is serious to go for people in Georgia government for corruption through the asset recovery team. So what happened to their own people that they have dismissed or in fact suspended for corruption? So are they going to go after them too? So we wait to see. I think at least they're starting from somewhere. So we wait to see how it's going to go. But in the meantime, before I close on, let me welcome few of our people here on the Bottomline Library tonight. We got Telewayan Akwe Koli, Pinke Kaswa. This is the first time I hear these two names. And Kaba Power, in fact, number 3. This is the first time I hear their names. But Jefferson Carter is always here, and also Real Says Pro. He's been away for a while. Real Says, come back. Thank you for coming back. And Yvette, our sister Yvette, she's from Atlanta. She's always here. So we want to say Thank you for joining us, and because of you, we are here. And you can join us on Tuesday next week, and we'll be here with more information. So, guys, I turn it over to you.
So let me get my 2 cents on this story. Linford, I asked you a question about when you have a cutting tree and then you have smaller trees around it. They, they start picking on the smaller tree to bring it where before they can cut this cutting tree because you can't leave the
Yeah,
smaller tree around.
I try to answer that question, but the way I answer it contextually. I said,
Yeah.
these people, they should also remember the clause that Padole referred to in the Constitution, the clause that saved Madam Salif today, that got her off the hook and her children off the hook, that you cannot prosecute the president, even if that person is out of power, unless they are impeached. Okay, so once they were elected, they are covered by that particular clause. And if whatever happens, if they are voted out, they are still covered by it, I think, until they do their part. Okay.
No,
Right. So
I
you're
just
right.
say,
So my go
Paul,
on,
just
Francis.
1 second, please. Look, I think we are doing. We are not legal pundits, the Constitution, but I think, based upon the gravity of that of the crime, the person can be prosecuted. I think so.
You see,
No,
you are right.
listen,
You are right. You are right that we are not
listen.
legal punists. You are
Listen, that
right.
hypothetically, let's say the ex-president or shot somebody, shot a murder case, a murder somebody. I mean, so he cannot be prosecuted. No, I think there are lots. The reason why I think George
What
Weah.
information, Francis?
No. I mean, listen, I'm about Let me just
Yeah,
let
yeah,
that
yeah,
Paul come
Francis
in.
land. Then you come yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
say
Go on, Francis.
that's my opinion. No, listen. I think the reason why George Weah them let it slide, basically because he was trying to back Eric Johnson Sirleaf. They were trying to cover all. He did not have anything to say. So the reason why they didn't go further with that. But this is another government. Things may change, and they might find some loophole. Just just saying it out loud, so everybody know. The end of the day, we might not be taken by surprise or taken aback.
Right.
Paul, before you
But,
come
but
in, let me.
all right, tell me before I close on this topic because I got
Yeah,
different view on this.
yeah. Francis, let's be realistic here. You know what happened? I'm not a seditious. I'm also not supporting Joe Weah, whatever unscrupulous behaviors he practiced at the time that he was president. But the law that in our constitution, the organic document, which is the constitution of our country, that clause, so long that clause is there, this crime will not committed today when Joe Weah is not president. He was committed when he was president, according to the investigation what the people are conducting. So, and the Constitution said, when these elected leaders, whatever thing happen in their time, when they are in power, when they leave, they should not be pre-charged. They should not be prosecuted. That's what the law says. If we want to make sure that people like Joe Weah then or Ellen Johnson Sirleaf or Omer Barkers then could be prosecuted tomorrow, that clause need to be removed. Until then, by law, they cannot be prosecuted. So that thing you're talking there, he said the president, if the Joe Weah might have taken a gun and just shoot somebody, clean brand and kill the person, is quite different thing than this kind of crime that we are talking about. Even at the time when the presidents were in power as a president, when he committed that crime, he can be prosecuted. So let me make it clear to you here. So
Okay, so in reality, when he's not
Before you close, Paul, before you close,
go ahead.
Paul, before you close, let me get, because you were close up on it. So let me just also add a little bit to why it's being discussed. You see, there are gravity of crimes. And Francis, if you listen to me keenly, I said that 1986 constitution that was redone, it has a lot of flaws. There's a lot of the guys, I don't know whether they did it consciously or it was just oversight. Now you talk about crime. They made it blank. They didn't make category of crimes. They said whatever the president does, while he's president, if not impeached, he cannot be prosecuted for it. So if the president shot somebody, okay, and murder is a serious crime under our constitution. So what would have been done is, if the government wants to establish, the state want to press murder crimes against that president, they will first of all impeach him. When they impeach him while he's in office, then he now becomes what? Ordinary citizen, and he can be prosecuted for that crime.
Very good.
But other than that, if if they do impeach him for shooting somebody and then his term is over, he will work as a free man. So you see, it's a lot of things that needs to be ratified in that constitution. And because of the nature of the constitution and when it was done, I think they made a lot of mistakes. It was done under a military rule, and that military government wanted to come to power fast. And so imagine they are just taking power in 1985. And so 1986, they were making these changes to the constitution so that it would suit them at that time. It's just that, the people who wrote the Bible, when they were writing it many years ago, they didn't know that human being would be a fan, so start asking many questions. So now people are asking questions to try to find out, but because they don't have answer to those questions, so when you ask the critical question, they say, oh, you bad man, you atheist, you don't believe in God, you don't do this. But they should have thought on those things to put all of the answers in place so that in the future, when people begin to question it, I mean, people have questioned science. When we were growing up, they said there were 9 planets. But today, the astronaut tells us there are millions of planets. Okay? So why I say that people who wrote the book way back, you can't question it now when you question it, the bad man. But let's go ahead. I just want to make that clarification.
Right. Thank you, guys. My 2 cents on this is quite different. The reason why I brought the cutting tree issue in it, this is we get 4 more years to go. And I would say 3 years because pretty soon there'll be campaign. If you look at this carefully, we break down the key financier around George Weah. We will limit him. So if you look at what's been going on, observe it keenly. The party headquarters, they were invaded, but the government went and broke it down. Think on it. The invasion, they asked for a vote. The judge said, okay, we give the government said no. They broke the property down that was not built by them. That's warning. The second warning, they mentioned something a few months back. That Ministry of Hope that was built by Cloud Weah, she will be the next one on the line after Finabono. These guys will go for CDC to the letter. Now, why I said that George Weah, he got a humanity that he cannot be prosecuted, because if George Weah sat down and built 49 condominium, nobody know where that money came from, but the building is there. So I like what Francis said. So this is a precedent that the government setting. We just know recently that $10 million were estate were built in 4 years. Government cannot tell where the money came from. So yet and set the precedent, which is good for the country. The next people of country will go after them because there's a lot of activity happening, stealing going on. But this whole fight of Finabono, I said something. She was aide to George Weah. She was not given a budget that you could say, oh, she ran this ministry or she was director of this. This was her budget, and we found there's fraud in it. But this whole thing is to get to George Weah. How did Finabono get the money? And Padole, he said it right. She was aide to the president. She had access internationally and locally. She had a voice. The question is the asset recovery will prove to the nation how Bono got her money because she been accused of money laundering as well. So where the money came from? The main thing is, I think the whole thing is to get to George Weah, although he have that thing behind him, but it will break them down one by one. Samuel Tuet is in court as well. The next person, how they call it, Eugene Nangbe will also be coming into the picture slowly. They will all be coming one by one. So this point is being calculated. It will cripple the CDC come 2029. That's my take on it. This is highly
Yeah, Paul,
political.
you could be right. You could be 100% correct. But this is the political side of it, right? You see, that's the purely political side of it. That they should, because CDC, according to them, imagine, look, I said on the internet, and when I go through some of the posts by citizens, it doesn't, I mean, or by Unity Party people, it doesn't make sense to me. These are people who are in power, but yet they're fighting or CDC that is not in power. They're fighting George Weah, some of them hoping that he will die, and all these things. It doesn't make sense. Okay, and not only George Weah, because for now it's George Weah or it's the CDC because they feel that that's the only strongest opponent. For them, they have already calculated. Because I talked to some of them, I got very good friends in the UP, very good friends. Okay, we confide in each other. Somebody they tell me about even ANC. They say, my man, ANC pa, we want to finish with Weah first or CDC. ANC pa, they got 1%, and under the constitution, it says if you don't reach the threshold, you cannot register as a political party. And in their mind, this is what they think about, that they will ban the ANC because ANC did not reach the threshold. So one of the questions I asked one of them is, so why you do Musa Belete? Because all the people there, I mean, that new party, they get no percentage. So you all stop there. Because under the constitution, there is nothing that says that if you are a new party, you don't have no more in the election, you cannot run. What about people who have been there before and they had some percentage? So how will you stop them? So this is in their mind. And if you listen carefully to Luther Tapper when he was on OKFM a few days ago, what he said they're going to be in, or they'll make sure that CDC will not come to power, and then the Unity Party will be in power for 200 years. I don't know where you'll be for 200 years. And so when they make some of these revelations, they know exactly what they're talking. They know exactly what they're talking. This is their plan to start to establish this monopoly over power. And I don't know how they think. And I wonder if Liberian people, I listen to people all the time, they say Liberian people got low IQ. Is that true? I mean, is it working on us? We came from a civil war, and this war was started by similar attitude, similar thing that you try to do to suppress a group of people. Then why did they keep over them? Or why did they overthrow the True Party? Because the True Party was there for several years. So if the UP, you are thinking about being there for 200 years, so what should happen to you? Should they overthrow you like they did to Tower there?
So later, I just want to close this on this. After Bono, guess who is George Weah West? They go after. So they'll be surrounding George Weah like this. They will play him. And what Luther Tapper said is the discussion. You can't overlook it. And they're going for Musa Berete because he been bidding breach. They stop him. He's not going to be breached anymore because they're done with him now. They go after him. Regarding that 1%, ANC did not take part in the election. It was CPP. It was collaboration. So you cannot stop ANC from taking to run in the election. Remember that. And the CPP also have senators. So you cannot stop them. But these guys, what they do, they know who they're going for. And they know the key players that they want to eliminate. So we will strangle CDC, which have been a major opposition party. And then now Musa Bedede come in the picture. We go for him. That is the bottom line. If people don't see this from a distance, these guys want to consolidate power for a long time, so they will do anything.
But I will also tell you, not the monopolization.
Let me finish. The issue with Bono, that's a good case study for them. How did she get her money? Pinabono, setting Kobo, the mayor AD came to, I don't know, chief of staff to Weir. The money didn't come overnight. The issue there, you heard about money laundering, where that money came from. And we are, and Padole said it on the show, everything that Pinabono did, we have a clue. So the big fish here is we are, how do we get him? Because the Constitution protect him. But we break them down somehow. That is the first. That's how I see it. I may be wrong, but that's my own
I
analysis.
mean, everything we're saying here, we are just giving you our own opinions and probably assuming or insinuating. So nobody is right here and nobody is wrong. But let me ask something again. You know what they do, look, everything you do has a good and bad side. There is nothing 100% perfect. Trust me, even the money that we kill ourselves for waking up early morning to go look for it, when you get it plenty, it becomes trouble for you. The moment you get plenty of money, then your own friend and you turn out to be an enemy. You start presenting them before they see you. Before I say Paul, hello, they say, who that man? I mean, who you want to see? Why you want to see Paul for? You see, the same Paul, we can say that in talk so long time. He'll become taboo for you to see him. So that's a bad side of money. You create a lot of enemy. You scared of everybody. You walk in, you say somebody come and kill me. Nobody get time for you, say somebody come and kill me. When you pull again, you say, hey, God, nobody look at me. God said, forgive of me. So everything get a good and bad side. The food that we eat, when you eat plenty, you get sour belly. That food you eat, when you enjoy yourself, they tell you bad thing for you. So why the things say they can strangle people like Musa Ability and all the other political parties? You waste your time because those parties can follow us. And you don't believe, or you can't make yourself to believe that everybody in Liberia will like you. So the moment you turn against, my brothers, all of my brothers supported UP. Okay, so if let's say my brothers were supporting different parties, okay, and then the UP start to suppress them, what will happen to them? They will all turn against UP. So why you think say you can suppress all the other political parties? They got supporters too, and they are connected. So there's no way that they will just get the woman in Tanzania who says she got 98% of the vote. That cannot happen in Liberia. And I can promise anybody, if that happens in Liberia, like Boaka said before, a UP doesn't win, Liberia will burn. I think then they will start piling the wood now for Liberia to burn. Because then they will pile it up. You see it? So, and this is a country that came from war. Nobody is afraid of war in Liberia anymore. That nonsense they can be talking war can kind of lie. Somebody fire gun today in Liberia. It can open war. I tell you, I can't point my tongue. I'm not saying that it will happen, but do not think you can scare the people with war and say, oh, we'll fall. Because they are seeing it. they live it. They know it. Okay? So nobody, at least the political team, we can do it and talking and do it in a political way. But if you think you can suppress the people, man, you have to live with a football theory where when you pass the football on the wall, it's coming back to you. Like I say, when ball bounce, the rules change. So that's it.
Well, guys, I gotta leave, man.
Yeah, sure, brother. You can take a rest. We know it's not easy.
Yeah,
The weather.
yeah. We'll have a good show. Tomorrow I might have the guys from the NRB Fest. So after the basketball game in the States, you guys have Desmond Johnson and Mr. Bernard. So on the bottom, so I will pour and lean for. I'll talk to you guys later in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, just give us the information.
Man, you have a fantastic weekend, bro, and talk to you tomorrow, man.
Yeah, buddy. The money been not easy when I was working.
Tell me about it. You see, if in Abodo them enjoy and you hear Green Clock, you see, this is the unfairness of the world that we live in. See, some people just get it easy, and some people have to work extremely hard for it. Man, so take it easy. Don't work too hard. We'll catch you on Tuesday by His grace.
Okay, guys. Yeah, tomorrow, man, we'll catch up.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so Linford, the thing is, the Constitution have to be amended. They have to change the state constitution because there are plenty of wrong things in our constitution that are making people to get away with things that they will not be able to do. You see, if the Constitution were fair, think on this carefully. When George Weah Bureau fought in non-condominium, he knew that he was protected by the Constitution. Joseph Burkhardt now followed George Weah footsteps to go to FOIA and pay $10 million too. So they know that the Constitution protects them, so they get away with these things. So that Constitution need to be looked at. But then the lawmakers,
Okay,
they're
but
not
come on,
willing
forget
to
about
look
the
at that
Constitution, yeah?
Constitution. Yeah.
Forget about the Constitution for this moment. So let's look at it. Let's break it down. Let's agree. George Weah Bill 47 for the non-condominium. Finabono was making kobo. Now she's bashing in wealth. Or all the other guys, they were poor. Magadan. Now they can bury
They're
that
all
mother in. They can bury that mother in. How you call that stuff?
mostly.
Yeah, mostly. So it's clear that these guys, mute please. It's clear that these guys came to power before they started doing all of that. And so the United Party, they are in power and they say they are going after these people. But let's say, let's be hypothetical because they say they will be there for 200 years. So at the end of 200 years, different party come and it's okay. We remember 200 years ago, you prosecuted CDC and George Weah and all the people. Now, you, President Walker, you are broke. You said you were living on loan before you came to power. Now, you built $10 million compound. Now, so we want to know how you got the money. Okay, because Walker will live for the next 200 years. They're going to Luther Tappet will be in power for the next 200 years. So you see, power, there is something about power that when people get power, they become drunk, they become probably stupid. Sorry, that stupid is not a bad word. Stupid is just when you're doing something foolish. Okay? They become stupid and do stupid things. That you will sit down and say your party will be in power for 200 years. Number one, you will not live for 200 years. Nobody has lived in recent time for 200 years. Okay. Then number two, and of course, literally, you're not talking about they that are in power to live 200 years. From now on, you're talking about the power being sustained for 200 years. That I understand pretty well. So don't think that I'm stupid. Okay, but let's say that they prosecute Sinabodo and all the people. What about the people that they are dismissing or suspending from office in their own government presently for corruption? So what are they going to do with them? That's a question me and stay asking. Okay. And what the thing will happen? What the thing will happen to Wakanda in the future for paying $10 million?
That is a good question. That is a good question because if you look at the guy at the National Food Authority, the allegation on him regarding something, if in normal government or good government, that guy will be suspended until that the case is closed. But this is Liberia. I told you before, Liberia is not a normal country. So you get a bunch of people, incompetent people who is now leading. They're not finding the brand. They don't have the means to solve the brand butter issue. But we need to stay in power because we understand the way the Chronicles work. And that's what they're doing. It's not about anything here. So Fina Bono and other people are said all this is to cripple George Weah. It's nothing about saying the setting precedent. It's all to cripple George Weah. And when they cripple George Weah, this is what come 2029, they will make CDC the party that irrelevant. That's what their intention are. Nothing else, but that's the intention. So they're not going to go anywhere. These guys are crooks that decided to. We in government, we have we have National Election Commission on our side. We can rig election. We have the Chief Justice that will determine yes, election went free and fair. You have those people. So if anyone sitting down thinking, say, oh, yeah, the government doing well, the government is performing poorly. You go to Liberia, people crying on this government. They're crying every day and night.
Yeah, Paul, can I
So,
say something?
yes, says come in, Padole.
Yeah, you know what happened with this, like what the brother just said. Linford said that the corruption and the stealing in our country is gears, is open door stuff. Everybody's seeing it. It's not howling. But how many of these people have been involved in heavy corruption practice and still huge amount of money have been prosecuted and put behind bars? None. Absolutely none. So obviously, what? But who will you really blame in this kind of situation? The citizen that's supposed to take the street and demand the right thing are not doing anything. Absolutely. The citizen, because the powers is lies in the hand of the citizen. They have a right to petition their lawmaker for impeachment. They have a right to get on the street and demand their lawmaker to summon the president or the finance minister or whoever's involved in any corrupt practice to come forward to explain if it define or any loophole on them, impeach them from that position. They have all this. But how many of them? The people that have been calling for protests and here and there, how many days they have taken were in that protest? They can't even make a whole day in protest. Some countries, they take a whole week in protest before the government do what the demanding. But it's not happening in Liberia, so I don't know.
See, Padoli, when you talk about protest, you got to look.
Lincoln once said, "You come in, Padoli." If you talk about protest in Liberia, don't you know the country called Liberia? We are scary kind of people. Don't you know that? The moment you say, "Oh, let's gather tomorrow and petition our lawmaker," oh, who they come and shoot? Liberia, we are scary kind of people, and that's why the politicians know they are scary kind of people, so they override on us.
But
you were living in Zinhurst, and then you went to Capitol Building. Less than 2 months, you now put on marshal because you ran $45,000 car. Is that a normal country? The people scared, so you can't blame them. The scariness will always be there. Until some sort of revolution takes place in Liberia, then that will ever happen, because you can't depend on the citizen. The citizen there, they're suffering. They are the very people who be behind lawmakers, backing them day and night, saying muya, that serious country. Lincoln, talk to me.
Almost the same thing I want to say that you told Padoli. Look, this is a country. Now, you see what's happening? And this has been an age-old thing, because people just want to have job. Most of the politicians in Liberia, they cannot live without government job. I mean, that's a pure fact. You think, why are these people killing themselves? As you see now, what's happening? They get some of them are hanging. They hanging on their toes, waiting. By the time campaign time started, starting, the moment in the next 2 years from now, you see how people will be switching from party to the unity party. Because why? They want to protect their job, one. And number two, they want to know that that's a place where power is shifting for now. Not that most of the people in the unity party, they love them. I told you, no, I listened to a unity party strong man. I don't know how strong he is, but this man holds a very big hell of a position in a foreign land. I eavesdropped this man conversation, and the thing what the man said, I pinched myself. I said, "Oh, so the thing we can be talking, we in opposition we can be talking that truth." The man started saying, the people agenda what they talk about, they even started. He said, "We even know whether they will continue." This is a man appointed, big man. I'll not call a position.
No, if you call it, they will fire him.
No, they were not knowing. Of course, they were not knowing. That means they got to fire all the people that were in that same position. So a big hell of a man that represents the president, that's supposed to be a president. The man said it. I said, I pinched myself. I said, wait. I said, look there, the thing will be talking the truth. The man, I said, he said the people, they are a rare agenda. They even started. We know small, they're hanging. We even know what's going on. I said, so I'm saying this to tell you that most of the people that you see in the government, they are not taking jobs because they are so loyal, but because that's the only place they can work. That's the only way they can work. Okay? So you see, in the next 2 years, in 2025, 2027, you see how people will be stretching. If they see that the United Party is still strong, is getting support, people will start going there. When they see that the CMC is gaining ground, they will start coming to the CNC because they're looking for a way to find job. So politics in Liberia is not about commitment on anything else, brother. So Paul,
And
they are not
you're right. You see, our people bring sufferings on themselves. Because what happened in Liberia, if somebody tell you, say, look, this is the means for you to get job, they'll say, oh, but what the person know, the person never worked in government before, the man who work in government. So they think about Liberia have the lower IQ, second lower IQ in the world. If you follow it, it's true. Because the way they think, the man who been in government for 50 years never created an avenue for you to work. But you think because he in government, he been stealing, then he didn't want to create job for you. Think on it logically. How that possible? You see, Joseph Barker said he been in government for 40 plus years, but there's no record show that the difference he have made in the 40 plus year, 50 years he been in government. This is the president that have two diploma, high school diploma. And Liberia thinking, who on earth that will go to grad from two different high schools the first place? Something about this guy is not right. He graduated from Kenema High School, King of Morofia, went to CWA, and graduated from CWA High School. It's just to tell you, this is a con artist that fake his left through to make it. And Liberia bought into the nonsense. So today, this is the same man that said he could ride wheelbarrow to go to work. He decided to buy himself $1.1 million bulletproof car because you remember at some point,
1.5 million.
At some point, Georgia wrote, I think it was $3,000 trainers. That man decided what if he bought himself $850 shoes. So think on it. And the people there don't have jobs, but then they behind this guy, oh, the papa doing wonder. He doing absolutely nothing. The campaign on Jefferson Kochi have Morofia or dirty. Go see Morofia today, you open your up. The place is filthy, dirty, everywhere. And these are the people you think they're going to make any change? It's just because the citizen not ready. It is ready to know what to do. But this United Party government, people are getting rich overnight.
But Paul, you can't blame the citizens. I mean,
No,
let's look at it.
No. I'm going back to what Padori was saying. You see, sometimes you see something is wrong. Look, let's be fair here. The government doing demolition at the moment because people build houses in alleyway and all that. But this is a government from time immemorial who have national housing and saving bank. The national housing was supposed to build houses for people. They refused to do it. So people found places to live. You want to move them, give them time. But overnight, you start breaking. And those very people are the people who were in the people water, still in the people water to vote for you. So think on it. Why are we not thinking logically? Talk to me, Linford, before we close the show.
Yeah, you see, the thing when it comes to the citizens exercising their rights, I understand that it's in the Constitution. It's in Article 1 of the Constitution. It's clear. We all know that. It's on the book. But Paul, come to think about it. The poor citizens, even for them to get a sermon to petition their lawmakers, before they're marching from Oro to come to Capitol building, before they can even reach Famuma, they are being attacked by the police, tear gas. They even reach to their destination. They're not violent. They didn't start killing nobody. They did not start burning nothing. Police start attacking them. So you see, we live on a very, very totalitarian administration, but we do know it's disguised in democracy. It's dressed in the suit of democracy, but it's totalitarian form of government, where the president has all the power. The president can violate the constitution willingly and nothing will happen. Okay? Simply because that president is protected under that clause in the constitution. Or because the president has all the power. And because the president or the government controls the House of Representatives, and the senators that are supposed to be the direct representations of the people.
So Limpa, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
You know, all the time you go to Capitol building, they will send the police on you to tear gas you, to whip you. But these very lawmakers, they live in the community of these people. So why don't they surround their home and teach them a lesson that, look, we put you there for a reason. You don't have to go to Capitol building. If that start happening in Liberia, people will start thinking twice. In the morning, thousands of people get marched on you. And then they're telling you now, if you don't do this, the next time you see what will happen. You don't have to go to Capitol
that
building.
lawmaker got police. In fact, the police will be on it right
No,
there.
my man. One police officer to 1,000 people, think on it. He cannot do nothing.
Yeah, they will bring back up.
Yeah, but they're not going to fire. They just march on you, say, we're here to tell you what to do. So the next time,
they may call the director of police and say, my man, you know what's up? Come to my rescue. And after what
you know what happened now? If you do that, that lawmaker, wife, the children, they are all in danger because it was the people that put you there. You just have to teach these people a lesson. You go to a house in the morning, say you're doing the wrong thing. This is for us. But if you refuse, the next time it will be worse than that. You have to teach these people.
Oh, I beg you, let me bring something to Limba's attention. Quite recently, what happened on Nepal? You saw it?
That's a different situation.
No, I'm just trying to bring something to it. The police you're talking about. Citizens were not hiring the police. You know, when the public rush up, there will be no. I was in the police force. I am telling you, when the public rush up, there will be no police. When we're talking about police, it's the citizen that allow the law to flow.
Yeah,
let's be realistic. Anyway, nobody wants care in that country because we have some elderly people who got some disabled people who got so many people. It's not covered to carry on anything that's unlawful or violent. But to be realistic, our lawmakers are not serving our country well. To be honest,
yeah, but
people.
You see, I got a very easy outlet to this here. Instead of, because we have tried all the protests. 1979 was the first protest I ever saw. Then we had the worst form of the protest, which was to kill the president. Then we had even the worst, and Congo say the worst form was to bring war. And according to them, 250,000 people died. And since then, we have been having the same protests from group to group, from president to president. Why we can learn sense that the protest is not working? Every time we have protest, it's not working. So the best solution, which that one, you even got to leave your house to go hear your body. Somebody can tear gas you or beat you. Simply in a ballot box, they're cool. Nobody looking at you. They Charlie Booger or the same group of Charlie Boogers who been lied to you. And when they on the ballot box, live with them. You're seeing with them. You'll be behind them. When you go vote Charlie Booger.
But several times, you know, they have been changing the lawmaker there. You know that.
You know, Limpa, I like the way
you know, excuse me,
Limpa. The lawmaker about the presidents.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. You know, the best solution, what Mr. Kumi said, change the system. Let's vote for somebody who will change the system. If so long the system is not changed, you can change the lawmaker from now to Judgment Day. So long that same kind of system is there, those new people that are coming in, they will adopt to that same system.
What is the system? You see, the system is not something that is living. It's the people. The same people. It's all about recycling the same people. Or Joe Boaga, who have been in government for 45 years before he became president. He even became vice president. And you also saw nothing from him. You're the same people. You're going to take the same man.
Padole. I said a thing here. They've said the problem in Liberia is the lawmakers. When they get into office, they mean well when they tell their people, I'm going in there. But then when they get there, they start doing it contrary to what they promised. So what you do, sue in the money. You sack all those buckers, sue in the money, and give them warning. When they go to Capitol building, they will carry the news to their friend. I don't want nobody harming my people here. So when that lesson is learned, you gotta go Capitol building. Oh. Yeke Koruba live on the old road, for example, and he not performing well. You surround him. You don't gotta harm him, but you're getting a message. We put you there for this. You're not doing this. So the same constitution gave them the right to get 10,000 signatures to remove that person, to put it, they can advocate for that. You know that. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
law
See,
is in that, it's
we
in
have
their
so many
favor.
alternatives. Or the
Yes.
citizens have so many alternatives
Yeah,
under our
that's what we're
constitution.
saying.
But you see, one of the alternatives is this protest, which is a real pressure. Then the other one is when you go to vote the people out. You know them already. Vote them out. For example, you had Nathan Magay in a via government. Nathan Magay can't say I want to be senator for Magibi. What the hell wrong with you that you go vote last man that was sanctioned? Then
Because the country have the lowest IQ in the world. That's just
so you see,
the Americans told the man stole from you. So think
what I
and
was
then they
saying,
say,
this
oh,
is the easiest way. This is the easiest way where nobody will hear your body. You alone there with you and your pen, get to cross an X or check. Simple as that. Why are people can think about this? But they see people, it will be like they put their hand in the fire when the fire burns and they sit there and start blowing it. Oh, it can help. Then next time when that smoke get better, they put their hand in new fire again. In fact, this time they'll fry the oil and put their hand inside. So you see, the problem is with our people. They're not learning.
Oh
They're
my
not
God,
learning any lesson.
I don't know where you're getting your palaver from. To be honest.
So they're not learning any sense. But again, we'll continue to talk and see whether somebody will think. No, election coming. I told you, elections coming. Somebody seeing people, trust me. Somebody seeing people, they will go get in the line for WIA and for CDC and for UP. And that is seeing people who will turn around and start crying. And I don't understand. So now I try to analyze when people say Liberians got low IQ. I try to see we got educated people, we got smart people, but then how come is it a majority that got the low IQ, or is it just everybody, or is it a minority? I don't understand.
you want me answer that question for you, Lifor? Do you want me answer that question? The most stupid people in my country called Liberia are the one that come from the university called Harvard. I'm being honest with you. They always tell you they have this degree, but listen to their conversation. The pimping rather get more sense than the group that come from the Harvard. Think on it, what I'm saying here. If the man who's supposed to know better,
the question is how many of those Harvard Harvard graduates or Harvard products are voters compared to the ordinary people.
let me learn on this now.
Okay.
Liberia have master degree holder more than the population of the Gambia. But the way they think, take a high school graduate from the Gambia, will think better than the over 100,000 master degree holder we have in Liberia. So when you talk about the low IQ, it's not about the academic of it, but the way you process information.
Yeah, the way you talk, the way you behave.
Common sense is not in them. You can have all of it, but common sense is not there. So what is it? No, I gave you a guy that have plenty of common sense in Liberia, but he does not have a master degree from Harvard. Yeke Koruba. Listen to him. The common sense in a guy more than these other fools that sit over there call that say, "Oh, I want to Harvard. I got this degree."
Yeah, but then I come back to my question to you. How many of these Harvard people are actually voting more than the ordinary people who supposed to have? No, Paul, you don't have to be. You don't have to. Wait, listen. You don't have to go to AD. You don't have to go to school.
Listen to this. A hungry man, the guy who hungry, it's easy for him to sell his food. The man who have not eaten for days and he gave him $20 to buy back or rest. You know what he done for that guy formerly? you feel that better. That's how they buy them. It's not that they're being stupid. That's where the loyalty lies. I'll give you a classic example. We were campaigning in Liberia. This guy called Siri Allen went on Siri Allen farm. And listen to this. The loyalty to Siri Allen, it was too greater than Siri Allen paid people hospital bill. When the children time for registration, they get money, he registered their children. So their loyalty is on that one man. And how many people he have on his farm? Hundreds of people work with him. The boss said this is how they follow. Because they are belly driven people. That's the situation we face with. So how do you counteract it? And the people then who supposed to know better, that are classified then as the Harvard, that are supposed to have common sense with the education, behave more stupid than a guy who on Syrian Alley farm. That's my point here.
No, you see, there's a difference. When you Cyril Allen is my boy, is my we. I mean, we all come from the MPP era. Cyril Allen is my boy. I call him CAA. But let me tell you, Cyril Allen farm on the highway there. There is a special relationship when it comes to that kind of situation you're discussing. Cyril Allen runs a farm. He got people who work with him, who depend on his salaries that he paid them. That's a different issue. But look at a guy who, from the time he was born, in Monrovia, his parents were poor. Maybe his father was someone that was man. Ajida gives him, his father died. And then he struggled. He didn't say go to school much. He's selling wheelbarrow down water side, selling in the wheelbarrow market down water side. And this guy, they go to him and fool him every year, every election time, and say, we'll do this for you. They give him t-shirt. He go and vote for you. When he can't, they don't do nothing for him. Then the next time they come again, then he do the same thing. So can you compare that guy to the man working on Cyril Allen farm who is balanced and he looks up to Cyril Allen to pay his salary every year or every month?
Yeah, so the reason why I mentioned the scenario here is Stephen Allen will vote the wrong person, say, oh, because I'm going to carry Omer Burka, who been stealing for 45 years in government. This is my man. But because he pay you, you cannot think logically, say, but wait a minute, not because you pay me, I can think beyond that line. This is the situation I'm talking about.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
You should know the right and wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a very good, analysis. But I also want to look at it from the other side. And I want to believe that not every Cyril Allen with that program, everybody's mind. And this is where independence comes from. The thing is, we are not independent in our mind. And the thing is simple. You and myself can see it every day. Africans, we are just like this. Africans, we had our culture, our religion, our everything before they were making. They were making and saw something to you that you don't know. And he even told you to change your name. He changed all your streets' name. He told you, say, you live in Liberia, I'll discover Liberia. You live in Tanzania, I will discover a place called Victoria Falls. He played there looking at for everything. He told me in the hammer and carry me there, I will discover it for you. And he agreed to it. Sell your family to me. Let me buy them and go work for me. And you agree to it. So I think this is part of black men. I don't want to mention the other race because I don't know about them. But black people, we are like this. It's difficult for us to think independently. They brought some kind of thing to you. Somebody who can save you 200 years ago, 2,000 years ago, when the man was living, they didn't bring him to you. After he died, 2,000 years before, they brought the news to you and you buy it. You're the one living the best of it now. You're doing it. So we are like this. So the Cyril Allen situation, sorry that we are using Cyril Allen's name, but that goes to many people. There are several people who got their private farms or their private company and people working for them. I don't think they'll program these people might say, oh, because I want this person to vote for them. We got to be independent. We got to be independent.
And that independence, that's what lacking. That's what lacking.
You and myself making the same point now. So it doesn't matter if I work for you, Paul. If my mind is not independent, I will not do what you. I will always want to do what you want me to do. But if my mind is independent, I'm working for you already. You pay me, but that does not mean that I will do what you want me to do. We just looking at it from different angles, and we can read the minds of the people.
Yeah. So So in reality, we know how the debate on the show here about Liberia is the second country with the lowest IQ in the world. And it's not about the academic style of it, but
No,
how
we read 40. 40.
yeah,
We are 40.
yeah. So no, not 40. The second behind Nepal. Nepal is the first. So think on it. So the way we process things, that's what the people look at. Say, but what kind of people are they? It's the processing that you cannot find somebody with common sense is the key. Look, the reason why I bring the common sense up, you get a man who 90 years old, because we don't know his exact age he gave us, because we know he graduated from Kinema High School, then he came to Liberia, want to see there and graduated from another high school. So the time interval, the age he gave, we know it's not right. But there's a young boy in Burkina Faso that is ruling the people with common sense. So the guy who been around over 50 years cannot even process what we call common sense. He only gave story and nothing beyond the story. So you see what we're heading? So if the country is like that, the leader lack common sense, then what do you think about the people? So the whole country is doomed. Anyway, let's close up, brother. Because every time I think on this, if the leader don't have common sense, then the Zoko will have common sense. It's not possible. The leader of a nation is the direct representation of the people. If the leader does not have common sense, yeah, man, what do you think about our people? This is
Well,
where we are.
we want to close on this note. We want to say thank you very much for the night. The night is fast spent. We've gone about 16 minutes after our time. And we want to also welcome some other people that just joining us. John Swigay. This is the first time I heard this name. And we want to say welcome. We are here every Tuesday and Friday of the week, so you can be with us. And of course, our regular sister. If we had a prize to give her, we'll give it to Mona Kripa. She's our regular sister right here and a contributor. So, guys, I don't know if you have any closing comment for me. I think it was a good show, and we will continue to talk about these things until we can find a solution to it. So, if you have any closing comment, you can go or Padoli.
Yeah, as I continue to say, my closing comment in this topic here is this. Quite recently, we witnessed something in Bone County where the citizens are taking a bold step against the decision the government took to stop CMC from doing that bridge construction. The people in our communities are appealing to the government to make sure that to give the go ahead to CMC to carry on the bridge construction, and they came off in number. So if the all Labron can get together and stand friendly to demand their government to do the right thing for them, I think that is the best way so far. Whoever come from anywhere want to do something good in your territory or in your consequences, I don't think it's necessary for government to stop it. So we saw that in my counties. I'm from Bon counties, and I was impressed when the people stood up friendly against that decision from the government. That's one of my closing statements. The second one is I always like to, every now and then, I would like to pray for our country to so we can have a good leaders like Mr. Kumi, because the gentleman, we believe that he can do better things for our country. He will face our country, provided if we, the Liberon, gave him a chance to take over. I 100% believe that he can face that country, Mr. Kumi. I hope our people will have a second thought to say, look here, we gave chance to George Weah and his group. They didn't deliver. Now we give it to the old man who have 40 years experience in government. He messing about. What he know doing in his 40-year time, that's one. The coat suit that he know wear, he wearing it now. The car that he know ride in, he trying to ride it. The horse that he never built the whole 40 years that he was in government, now he building now in his 4 year. So I think enough is enough and give the chance to a brother who have already made his life. He just want to serve the country, which is Mr. Kumi. I hope the Liberian people will have that second thought and give the leadership to Mr. Kumi. So that's all I can appeal to my people because when Liberia is better, we that are in the diaspora will be at ease. Until then, we will not be at ease because if anything go wrong in our country, our people sick, we need to send money. Our people don't have money to buy food, we need to send money. Those that working, those are our brothers and sisters that work in the government. If the government don't pay them, we need to send money so they can survive. So we hope that we'll have a civilized and sound government of ANC to take over in the next general election. Thank you very much. May God bless Liberia and God bless we all. I hope to be here next week Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you. And Lincoln, in the introduction of the program, I said that I'm going to talk a little bit about Liberia because I'm from there recent time. And what happening in Liberia, there is a talking point around the corner of every corner you travel to. They think about we have failed the nation, and the old man is worse than we are. So people now are looking at the third option between the two parties. This is the conversation that is in every corridor. People are just bitterly angry with this government. If you go to the marketplaces, you don't want to hear the moment you mention the name, they get angry with the old man. So going forward, I think the people realize that they made a mistake, before the election, people say, oh, Papa, we're sorry, or we elected the wrong person. But it's going to turn around. Just what they said to we are. I think this is where the first come from now, that they decide to quit the CDC, which is the largest opposition bloc. So the noise is still happening with Finabone and all. These guys know that we are and the CDC have the potential in the next election to go in the second round. And United Party fear here is they may not even get in the second round. So this is how do we pray for these people? So the noise in Liberia today is the bad performance of the Omer government. They performing so well until disabled people protested, blind people protested, and the man does not use common sense. He came and passed by them. This is what I say. Common sense is lacking in at the very top. Then if you trickle down to the lower people, you get absolutely nothing. But that noise about their option, a ranking of bills seriously in Liberia. These guys that are performing, George Weah, if he graded 2, George Weah will beat the old man, but because he copied George Weah. There is no footprint of his leadership style. George Weah started one day saying, oh, follow go Ali Umaha over a bridge. That they want the government run away, thinking that when it's finished, people will vote for them. So their performance is bad, is very bad. On that note, I want to say it was a great show, and we shall be here again on Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paul. And finally closing, the total closing of it, I would just let me say, the thing about what you said, that the people are very mad. In my view, they are not mad. You see, let me tell you, Liberian people have come to realize that Liberian people were born in poverty, and they believe that poverty is a normal thing for human being. So they don't care. Let me tell you, Liberian people, just like hungry man. When you're hungry now, you feel it. But by the time you eat piece of bread, you drink water behind it, or you eat one spoon of curry, you drink water behind it, you all right. You forget about that hunger behind you. That's what Liberian people are. So those same people who making all the noise in the marketing, if they are serious and if they are angry, then of course they have to now make that decision. They have to express their anger and frustration at the ballot box. But trust me, anyone say yeah, election time coming, the same very people who you think are angry will be the same very people walking in the people water again for another 6 years, for the people who have made them to suffer, who they suffer for in the past, and they made them to suffer for 6 years, and they'll again increase their own suffering for the next 6 years. On that note, I'll close. And if Allah will prove me in the next 2-3 years to come. So, guys, it was a very good show. We hope to be back here again on Tuesday. So please make sure to join us, and we hope to deliver the goods as we have them in storage for you. This is the Borderline Liberia Discussions. We come here every Tuesday and Friday. My name is Linford Goer, and along with me tonight was Maurice Yakuba Dolly, Paul the Lord Chirople, and of course Francis Mensah. And we want to say thank you very much for being here. And because of you, we were here. And of course, don't forget, because of us, we are here too. You can sit down and look at your enter screen. Paula?
No.
No. You remember the prison you go music and he said, I'll be alive. They say no. So guys, we'll see you on Tuesday and have a great weekend, and God bless us all.
Yeah,